This video is for Massachusetts Pick 4. Actually, I like to look at Massachusetts to look at what may come out in Carolina. I know other people have their various states. Virginia, I've heard people are looking at Tennessee, South Carolina. Me, I like to look at Massachusetts to see what, if I'm playing the Pick 4, I like to look at this state. They're solely a Pick 4 state, and I like to see how they treat the numbers. So, this is a little lesson for Massachusetts. We're going all the way back to July the 8th. You got 7829. They came back with, I know it's easier if I'm looking at the number that came out, but I just want to explain to you how they get what they get. So you got a 21, 2, 1, 6, 7. So all you have to remember is that they're going to give you back exactly what you got the first time. Okay? So, let's see, we got 17 back with there. You got a 17 back. How did they get that 17? They added those two numbers right there. Gave you that 17. How'd they give you that 216? They added those numbers right there. And they more or less gave you a sum of 216. 2, 1, and 6 is 9. Okay? Just understand that Pick 4 as addition and normally multiplication. Okay? So we'll go, that's the 8th of July. A lot of people get that fourth number and they're confused by that fourth number, but your state has never had Pick 3, so yeah. So the next day you got 4, 7, 9, 4, and that was your day draw. But if you want me to go back and tell you how they got the other, off that 21, 67, they oh, so you got a 13 here, and that 6 and 7 right there would come down to that 13. So they're just giving you that number back. Anytime in the Pick 4, you get the number back. The 1 and 6 come down to do that 7 right there. Okay, and then the 4 is actually supposed to be with that 4 over there. So 2 and 6 is 8. 4 and 4 is 8. Okay? So they only gave you back, remember, when you're doing the Pick 4, it doesn't matter where you live, they're only giving you the number back that you got before. And it looks easy after the fact, but, you know, it takes a while to get used to it. But I say here in Carolina, I know exactly why the remedial math is taught in community college. They depend on players to over focus on what you're supposed to be looking at. And when you over focus on something, you usually miss what's right in front of your face. I'm guilty of that myself. So just know that when you're doing this, Massachusetts lottery is no different from anybody else. I hear all the time, well, my state gets over. No, we over focus on a number, and we tend to look at what's in front of us instead of breaking that number down. And when you break these numbers down, you get the same thing back. So that 4794, and we're doing, we're doing this number here. So 7 and 9 covers that 16. 2 and 6 covers that 8. Okay. Actually 6 and 7, they gave you that 9 and 4 back as well. 17. So, let's, I know it's easier said than done, but let's try to look at the number, break the number down, and not over focus on these numbers. Okay? We're gonna go to let's just go to Friday. And that would be July the 15th, 7/15. Okay. And let's look at the 1, 3, 3, 9 that dropped. They came back with 6051. 6051. Okay. That's what they came back with. Well, obvious, or as somebody used to say, Captain Obvious, would be that 6 and 6 is, 3 and 3 is 6. So, we could come down here and add that 1 to get that 7 right there, okay? I want to say they treat that like a 5. I'm thinking, and I haven't looked, but I assume that Massachusetts treats a 0 like a 5. So I would say they stacked that number and gave 13 plus 3 is 16 right there. But I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. But sometimes the state will drop a 0 and then they'll treat it like a 5. If that's the case, then the 1 and 9 would be taken care of with that, well, I guess we can call it the blind side there. Because they're going to blind you with it. Is that 1 and 9 that fell as well. Okay? So, I'd have to go back and look. Y'all don't get a... Well, yeah, actually you do. And then, so, that 6501... 6501... and they came back last night with 1109. if they treated that 0 like a 5, and I'm thinking they do, because on this workout it would be the same thing. The obvious would be 6 and 5 right there is 11 from 6 and 5 there, okay? And then if they treated that like a 5 as well, then you, of course, 5, 5, 1 would be that 11, okay? And that 5 and 5 would actually be 1 and 9 is 10 as well. I'm thinking Massachusetts, that you treat the 0 as a 5 when you're doing your workout. So don't forget that. But your state is very interesting. I like to go off of it to look at Carolina and see on the board. Sometimes I'll talk about the board, and I'll put that up after a while. That it's actually not my board. If I explain something that's not mine, when I look at the board, it's been around since the day of one, and it is not my board, so I'm not taking credit for something that's not mine. But just remember in your future workouts that you do by yourself, that treat that 0 like a 5, because I'm pretty sure your state does do that. Some states do that, some states don't, but it looks like that you do that. So today, you're pretty much looking for something that equates to an 11, a 10. You actually got a double-sided 10 last night, okay? And you got a 19 last night. And outside the box, you got a 14. So, and you also got a 15. A partial sum, a partial, a partial, a partial, a partial. And do not forget your 55 pair, in case they go from end to end, or your 0, 0. Okay? You could also have a solid sum 20, and because you got 11 and 9, so they could give you a solid sum 20 today in Massachusetts and be just fine. And like I tell other people across the states, when I look at your pick 4, if you get a solid sum 20 today, you will get a repeat. You'll get a repeat of a recent pick 4 number that